You feel it, don't you? That ache when you look into a woman's eyes and you sense she isn't really present with you. Her mind somewhere else, her emotions guarded, her heart distant. You try harder, you give more, you text first. You plan the dates, you compliment her endlessly hoping she'll finally see you, but she doesn't desire you. Not really, and here's what no one tells you. Desire isn't something you can buy with attention. It's something you evoke. You see, most men today are caught in a cycle of performing, pleasing, chasing, thinking that if they just say the right thing or play the right role, women will desire them. But desire isn't logical, it's emotional, it's instinctual. A woman desires the man who doesn't need her approval. The man who is rooted in himself. The man who commands presence, who moves with purpose, who stands for something, not because he's trying to impress her, but because that's who he is. So if you feel unseen or overlooked, if you keep finding yourself being just a friend, or slowly ghosted after the second date, this isn't about being not good enough. It's about becoming the man she can't help but crave. Let me show you what that man looks like, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually. You need to understand this first. A man who cannot control his emotions cannot control the room, and a man who cannot control the room cannot hold a woman's desire. Emotional self-control is not about shutting off your feelings or being cold. It's about mastery. It's about not allowing your emotions to dictate your actions in a way that makes you weak in her eyes. When you're with a woman and she notices that you are easily upset, that you take everything personally, that you become reactive to every comment or mood she expresses, she doesn't feel attraction. She feels caution. Why? Because you're showing her that you're emotionally unstable, that your confidence is conditional on how she behaves or responds. Desire is about polarity, masculine and feminine energy in balance, and feminine energy often flows with emotion, up, down, curious, distant, soft, sharp. If you meet her with that same unpredictability, there's no grounding. She can't trust you to be her emotional rock. A man who embodies self-control responds rather than reacts. If she pulls away emotionally, he doesn't panic or chase. He stays calm. If she tests him with a sarcastic remark or a moment of coldness, he holds space, maybe with a playful smile, maybe with silent confidence, and allows her storm to pass without losing his center. That's what makes him attractive. That's what makes her lean in, because she knows that he is okay regardless of her mood. Self-control is also sexy because it shows discipline. A man who disciplines himself emotionally is likely disciplined in other areas of his life, his work, his body, his lifestyle. And discipline speaks of leadership. When you show a woman that you don't need her to regulate you, that you can hold your own emotional space, that you can remain calm in chaos, that you are not easily swayed by her tests, you make her feel safe to surrender, safe to soften, and safe to desire you fully. Emotional self-control is the first doorway into masculine power, and a woman will desire the man who can hold that power with grace. So many men today are working tirelessly on their outer appearance, hitting the gym, buying designer clothes, curating their image for Instagram. And yes, attraction matters. Physical presentation is a door opener, but what makes a woman stay, what makes her desire you deeply, is purpose. You see, women are drawn to energy. The energy of a man on a mission is irresistible because purpose creates gravity. When you are deeply committed to something beyond her, your work, your dreams, your vision for life, she can feel that your life has weight and momentum. Too many men try to make women their mission. They think that showing up, being available 24/7, texting constantly, and reorganizing their life around a woman will make her feel desired, but in truth, it makes them seem directionless. A woman desires to step into a man's world, not to become his entire world. She wants to feel that you are going somewhere with or without her, because that's where your masculine energy shines the brightest, when you are driven, focused, and passionate about building a life of meaning. When you're a man of purpose, your time becomes valuable. You're not easily available. You're selective about who gets your energy, and that scarcity makes your presence more valuable. When she knows that your attention is hard-earned because you're busy building something important, she leans in. She craves a deeper piece of you because you haven't handed it over so freely, and purpose creates a healthy distance, the space where desire grows. So if you've ever wondered why women pull away when you give them all your time, ask yourself, what am I building? What dream would I still be pursuing if no woman existed? What work would light my soul on fire regardless of who's watching? That's the energy that magnetizes a woman's desire. A man who is busy crafting a legacy, mastering a skill, living for something greater than romance, that's the man a woman desires not because he needs her, but because his life is already rich and full. Purpose attracts, and purpose keeps her desire alive. Here's something that too many men today underestimate: the power of mystery. Desire is fueled by curiosity. If a woman already knows everything about you, if your emotions are on full display, your schedule predictable, your thoughts constantly shared, you become familiar too quickly. And while familiarity creates comfort, it also suffocates desire. Attraction thrives when there's space for wonder. A woman wants to discover you layer by layer at her own pace. She doesn't want the entire map on the first date, nor does she want constant access to every corner of your mind and heart. When you leave some things unsaid, when you pause before answering, when you're comfortable with silence, when you hold back details that don't need to be shared immediately, you create intrigue. She begins to think about you when you're not there. She imagines what's behind your calm demeanor, what you might be feeling but not revealing, what drives your decisions. That's where desire is born. You're not hiding who you are. You're simply choosing to reveal yourself gradually, with intention. This communicates confidence and emotional control. It shows that you value your inner world and don't feel the need to put everything on the table just to be liked. Men who overshare too soon often do so from insecurity. They're hoping that vulnerability will earn affection, that openness will buy connection. But what it actually does is remove the tension and mystery that spark desire. Imagine reading a book where you know the ending from page 1. Would you feel compelled to keep reading? No, but a book that reveals itself slowly, that hints at deeper layers still unseen, that book keeps you turning the pages. You are that book. When you embrace emotional mystery, you give a woman space to pursue you emotionally. You allow her to feel curious, intrigued, and engaged, and when a woman is emotionally engaged, she's already halfway to desiring you. So practice restraint. Don't rush to explain yourself. Don't be overly eager to give her emotional access right away. Let her wonder a little, and you'll become unforgettable in her mind. One of the most counterintuitive truths about desire is this: the less you need a woman's approval, the more she feels drawn toward you. Many men fall into the trap of attachment, becoming so fixated on winning her over, keeping her attention, getting her validation, that they lose themselves in the process. When you make a woman the center of your emotional world, she can feel that energy and it suffocates attraction. Why? Because desire is about freedom and choice. If your energy screams, "I need you to like me," or "I can't feel okay," you put a burden on her that kills attraction. She feels responsible for your happiness. That's not sexy. Detachment is different. Detachment doesn't mean coldness, rudeness, or indifference. It's not about playing mind games or pretending you don't care when you actually do. True detachment is an inner knowing, I'm whole and complete whether this works out or not. That energy is powerful. When you show up fully present but unattached to outcome, when you enjoy her company but are completely at peace with walking away if something doesn't feel right, she feels that calm confidence. She feels that you're with her because you choose to be, not because you need to be. This kind of detachment creates an emotional space where desire can grow naturally. Think about it this way: when a man clings too tightly, always texting, chasing, checking in, asking, "Do you still like me? Are you okay?" it feels desperate. But when you can hold your space, when you can give her room, let her miss you. Let her think about you without chasing her for reassurance, you create tension. And tension is the soil in which desire blooms. The man who lives with detachment knows that he's the prize. He respects himself too much to beg for attention, too grounded to worry about whether every interaction goes perfectly. This attitude says, "You're free to come and go, but I will remain solid, focused, and emotionally whole." That's the energy women crave. And when you master detachment, you'll find that desire begins to flow toward you effortlessly. You've heard this word tossed around, presence. But what does it really mean to be present in a way that makes a woman desire you? Masculine presence is more than just being physically there. It's about the quality of your energy when you are with her. Most men today aren't present. They're distracted scrolling their phones, thinking about what to say next, worrying about impressing her, or lost in self-doubt. But when you show up fully, calm, grounded, intentional, you immediately set yourself apart from every man who's anxious for her approval. Presence begins with your body. When you sit with her, slow down, breathe deeply, maintain soft but steady eye contact. Don't rush to fill the silence. When you can hold a pause comfortably, she feels that strength. A man who is at ease with silence radiates calm confidence, and that is magnetic. Presence is also about attention. When you're with her, really listen. Listen not just for words, but for emotion, subtext, tone. Let her feel that your mind isn't racing elsewhere, that you are fully in this moment, fully attuned. A man with masculine presence doesn't fidget. He's not frantic. He takes his time, speaks with intention, moves deliberately. This energy makes a woman feel safe, and more than safe, it makes her feel seen. And when a woman feels seen in a man's presence, desire follows. Presence is also about leadership. A man who knows where he is going, who makes decisions confidently, who isn't afraid to take charge in a subtle but clear way, this kind of energy is intoxicating. It's important to understand masculine presence is rare today. We live in a noisy world, and most men are distracted, overstimulated, and disconnected from their own bodies and minds. So when a woman encounters a man who is still, grounded, and unshakable, she can't help but feel pulled toward him. She will lean in without knowing why. She will seek your gaze, your touch, your attention. That's the power of masculine presence. You don't have to say much or do much. You simply have to be. And that being speaks louder than anything you could say to try and impress her. This is where most men completely misunderstand women. They try to approach desire like a checklist. They think, if I'm a good man, if I look good, if I'm kind, respectful, successful, she should desire me, right? But desire doesn't work that way. It's not logical, it's emotional. A woman doesn't desire you because you tick boxes on paper. She desires you because of how she feels in your presence. She desires you when you awaken something deeper in her, her feminine instinct to lean in, to surrender, to be drawn toward your energy without fully understanding why. This is why you can't talk your way into desire. You can't explain to her why you're a good guy, and hope that will ignite passion. You can't convince her logically that you're worth her attention. Desire bypasses logic. You've probably seen this play out. A woman dates a man who doesn't have your looks, your status, or your kindness, and yet she craves him. And you're left wondering, why him and not me? The answer lies in emotion and energy. Desire is awakened when your behavior and presence communicate confidence, emotional self-mastery, and masculine polarity. It's the subtle ways you carry yourself, your calmness, your ability to take the lead, your comfort in silence, your capacity to make decisions without hesitation. When she feels you as a man who doesn't need to prove himself, when she senses that you're at peace with yourself, comfortable in your own skin, pursuing your purpose without needing her validation. That's when desire is ignited. You must stop trying to negotiate desire. The moment you try to explain why she should want you, you've already lost her emotionally. Instead, focus on who you are being in every moment, every interaction. Cultivate your masculine energy, your emotional control, your mystery, your purpose, your presence. Because when you show up as a man who embodies these qualities effortlessly, desire happens naturally. Without persuasion, without pressure, without performance. And that's the secret. Women don't fall for men who check all the boxes. They fall for men who make them feel something they can't explain.